Hello and welcome to episode 117 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
And things have changed.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? We are in a different place.
We are indeed.
We've switched realms.
Wait, yes, we've switched servers. So
yeah, we've switched servers.
We had to change our usernames and we switched servers, but changes.
I'm now Catboy 1465.
And I'm Womb Destroyer.
Womb Destroyer and Catboy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, did we expect the change to happen so quickly? No.
No.
Has it happened?
Yes. We did preempt you, but at the beginning of the week, I don't think we truly thought it was going to happen.
No, I don't think that we really considered that it could be a reality.
It could actually happen.
Yeah, indeed.
But it did.
It did.
And it
moved.
has. And we're here.
Yeah. So if you joined our stream on Friday and Sunday, gone.
Which you will have.
Yeah, which you will have, right? Right?
Right.
You will have seen that we made the move all week. We've been moving the house around, like we said. And it's been
hard. I'll be honest with you.
It has been hard. I will say.
It's been hard.
It's been so much harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm really bad with change.
Never.
I know. Who would have thought?
Margaret's that sort of person, right? Who she's like, yeah, let's just do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
let's just turn the house upside down.
I don't think of the ramifications of things a lot, I must say. And
yeah, but it's if you want something, you just do it.
Sure, yeah. I feel like I am very much the type of person, and I always have been. If I want something, if I want to do something, I'm just gonna do it.
You're just gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna worry. Well, I do worry. I worry, and I do.
Oh, the worrying is.
Yeah. Oh, ample. I worry. Oh goodness, worry.
There's ample worrying.
Oh, so
There's
much
enough worrying for us both.
Oh yes.
I don't need to worry.
Oh, categorically.
Because Margaret will do that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And this was something we really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now.
Now.
Was it harder than I ever thought it was going to be? Yes.
100%.
Has it been much longer than I thought it was going to be? Yes.
100%.
It has been. When did we start moving?
Monday.
And what? We're recording on Sunday now, and it's still not done.
It's still not done.
It's still not finished. There's still stuff everywhere.
Basically done.
Yeah.
But there's just like bits that need tidying up. There's some shelves that they're putting up in there.
Yeah.
And by shelves, I mean
my desks.
Entire kitchen
worktops.
counters.
Yeah.
Which my dad is going to put up.
Yeah.
And then when the LED sign will be here.
Oh my goodness. I know we mentioned it in the last video, and we've been mentioning it every single time we've streamed since, but the LED light is going to go up here of the Podblast logo.
Yeah.
It's all sorted, all ordered. We worked out the final design. It's on its way. It's going to be
excited.
here.
It looks amazing.
I think in the next like couple, by the time you see this, probably like a couple weeks.
Apparently we're getting it the week commencing the 11th of March.
11th of March. When are you seeing this? I wonder.
You're seeing this tomorrow, so Monday the 4th.
4th. So
beginning
probably
of next week,
Yeah.
we should get it. So you won't see it on Thursday. You probably won't see it on Monday.
Yeah.
But you might see it on Thursday next week,
which is very, very, very exciting.
Very exciting.
And if you've come to stream, oh my gosh, we stream. Hello,
oh my God.
we're streamers.
Why aren't you there?
We're actually in the same room that we stream, just behind you.
Yeah.
Yes. And you.
Get out the way.
You. Yeah.
Move.
Behind you.
Out the way.
There is the streaming space, so you look out onto the podcast. So
we do be streaming.
We do be streaming.
We are streaming these days.
So yeah,
do we like to stream?
It's been a really stressful week.
Oh my God!
I will say it's been a very stressful week.
Just getting this set up.
Just getting this,
and you wouldn't think it's so bad because it's just like 2 chairs, a desk, and some mics.
It's a lot to set up.
It's hard.
I am not kidding you. It is now 3:45 on Sunday, the day before this video goes live. So we have to edit this all tomorrow, and we're streaming tonight.
And we've got to work tomorrow.
We're streaming in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's just been a lot,
It's just been a lot.
It's just been a long one.
You never realize. My God, the amount of stuff we had. By the way, we had so much stuff, and I'm not just talking about like stuff. I'm talking about like business stuff.
Yeah, it's because we both work from home. We have to keep so much stuff here.
Yeah.
And like when you have to move that, like the amount of printers in this house.
I know. Oh my gosh, the amount of printers.
Insane. The amount of heat presses in this house.
I know. The amount of just everything. And you know what? The amount of just like unused boxes that we keep just because we're like we need them.
But we need this box because
one day
somebody's going to order something large, and then I'm not going to have a box, and then it's going to upset me. So I keep boxes.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So all of that to say, this isn't the finished set. We've put this up in about an hour and a half, impromptu before we started recording,
just to film.
Just to film,
get this up.
Just to film, and because we didn't think about the implications that Jack's computer was moving from the room next to where we film, which has all the recording software on it.
So we were gonna be like, oh, we'll record downstairs still, but then we were like,
ew, we can't really. So this isn't the finished set.
No.
I know that there are probably people up in arms at the fact that we've switched sides. I'm up in arms too. Don't worry.
We might switch back.
We're going to switch probably next episode and see which I prefer because I'm so particular about where I need to be and how I need to sit.
You are a little bit particular.
I must be honest. I'm a little bit particular about these things. So
a small amount of particularity.
So yeah. What do you think so far? I know that there isn't really a lot to look at right now.
Apart from us.
And a wall. But I guess, to be fair, that's, the kind of the most important thing.
But we will have soon the neon sign.
We will!
And it will look very good.
You know what? I'm not really sure how the rest of the set's going to look apart from that. But we'll work on it. Things will change.
Figure it out. This was just a...
Yeah, this was just something cobbled together. Yeah, just
get it recorded on this day.
Yeah.
But it means, like, right now, the dog is sat at my feet.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
He is literally on my toes.
Yeah, not only, by the way, dog sat at feet. Every single time one of us gets off these chairs, he tries to get on. He's like, well, I guess that's my chair now.
You lose. It's mine now.
Yeah, my chair.
It belongs to me.
Yeah, me and me alone, the dog.
But, not because there's less wires, because we're not at the table, and all the wires sort of run down the back and around the side to my PC, you can't really get caught on anything. So,
he very well could knock you over.
He could knock the camera over.
He very well could knock you over.
But right now, he's just asleep at my feet.
And
which
hopefully,
is cool.
That's how he will remain. God, he has been so pooped throughout this whole thing. Like, it's been stressful for us, but it's been really stressful for him as well.
He's just a little boy.
He's just a guy.
Little guy.
Listen,
he's just hanging out.
He doesn't know anything. He has no idea what's going on.
But his beds are moving daily.
Yeah, I know. His beds are moving daily, and his bedroom's
He's just old, and he just wants to go to sleep.
Yeah, so
and he can't.
You might see him. Who knows? If you to keep going back to streaming,
if you comment bully down below, he might show up.
He might. He's like Bloody Mary. Yeah. You say his name 3 times in a mirror.
Be 3 separate comments.
yeah.
And then he might show up.
Yeah.
So you should maybe do that twice.
Yeah. So it's 6. Interesting.
Because,
oh my goodness.
Second time's a charm.
Yes.
And then third for good luck. So 9 comments.
Right.
And there's 4,000 of you. Over 4,000 of you now. So you do the math.
Wow. That's
a lot of comments.
That's definitely more than 40. I would say
that's 1,200 comments.
Yeah, a lot of comments.
No, it's not. 12,000 comments.
I was going to say, surely.
So if every single one of you leaves three sets of 3 comments saying bully, we might get him on the podcast.
Wow, who knows? The special guest bully.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He just stares at you.
Oh, he's good at that.
And
by
he's
the
good
way.
at that. And he might go.
He's good at that.
He might go.
Oh, he's good at that too. Oh,
he likes to do that.
Yeah, he might lick your feet as well.
He might lick your tootsie wootsies.
Might lick
you never know.
Tootsies.
You might get some tootsie wootsy licks.
Yeah, but if you've joined, what I was saying was, if you joined us on stream, because we look back onto here and his bed's out here, he's on stream. He was in so much more than he ever was.
Chat enjoyed it very much so.
Yeah.
He sat for some chips during stream.
Yeah.
And chat went wild for it.
Yeah.
Chat was like, oh my god, he's the smartest dog.
Oh my god, he's a boy genius.
I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much of a genius your dog is. Yeah. And that's just fair.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth, to be honest.
Yeah. Anything else? I feel like sitting here is just discombobulated us so bad and we have no idea what we're talking about. I feel like we're saying words and they're just... I don't think we're even making sense of what words we're saying.
I think I'm making perfect sense.
Oh, yeah?
Bully 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
3 sets of 3 times.
You know what? I've messed this mic up.
No, you haven't.
I guess it could stay here. Yeah, I guess it could stay here.
Well, look at your waveforms.
Oh my goodness. I'm watching the waveforms right now.
How does it look?
Am I top or bottom?
You're top.
Yeah, I am.
You alright?
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah. So, is there anything else that we'd like to update the people on kind of before we get into it?
Not really.
Oh, dog's up. We've upset the dog.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's dangerously
Big
close
stretch.
to you.
Oh, he's close to you.
Oh.
He's rubbing up next to your legs.
Can you smell his nasty dog breath on
He's
you
got some
right
stinky
now?
dog breath.
Oh, my goodness.
He do be having some stinky dog
Oh,
breath.
he's pushing past you.
He's going past you. Oh.
Very good. Good job.
Big
Okay. Anything else?
Nah, not really. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Like, comment, which you've already done. Subscribe. The bell. All that good stuff. Helps the channel very much. Helps each video. You've been helping expand the Eldritch Podblast to many new people recently, and I appreciate that. Here he is.
There he is. There was obviously enough. There was obviously enough.
Thank you so much for all those comments. Thank you for 12,000 comments.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Are you going to say anything?
Do you have anything to say to the people?
Are you going to say to the people?
Do you have anything to say to the people?
Good boy.
They're over there.
He doesn't know.
Nah, he
doesn't know which way is up.
Oh, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know where we are.
No idea.
Oh, not a single clue.
Not a single clue.
Is he all right there?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
if he wants to stay there, he can. This must be terribly uncomfortable for him.
Well, I don't know. I've seen him in.
I've seen him fall asleep in stranger positions.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be honest with you.
Definitely seen him. Definitely laying weirder than that. So I guess if there's nothing else,
what's on today's agenda?
Well, we have a whole bunch of homebrew challenge stuff to get through.
Oh, yes.
A whole bunch, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So shall we start first with the winner?
The wiener
of the final hope theme in the homebrew challenge,
which was a ranged weapon.
It was a ranged weapon.
It was
a ranged weapon.
I'm all discombobulated.
Listen, we've changed a lot of things around with the table.
Yes.
But we'll show you in a moment.
That we did live on stream. So thanks to everyone who was in chat.
Oh my goodness,
for helping us do
so
that.
many great suggestions. Yeah. So we'll go through the winner. We'll go through what the new theme is,
and then we'll go through our new table
we'll
as well.
Go through the new rolling table as well. So the winner, the ultimate.
I am not on my phone, just so you all know.
Jack was like, I don't want them to think I'm on my phone.
I'm writing the chapters in here.
He's writing the time stops down because again we didn't consider the fact that oh baby, oh my god, please clap us out. Well,
Dog Disaster 1 out of the way.
You know what? This chair is on like I'm sure you saw.
It spins.
This is a spinny chair, and my feet firmly not on ground now. So dog make one move, I dead.
You're freewheeling
it. Yeah.
You're freewheeling it.
Yeah. Oh dear. No. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
They're always down. Right, everyone, don't look him in the eye because you'll activate him. He's like Medusa.
You can comment about him, but don't look in his eyes. Because if you look at him, then he knows. Even if he's unconscious, and he has been for hours, asleep.
Yeah, he knows.
You look at him, he's like...
He has been, by the way, flat out.
Yeah.
And yet, here we are. So, what was I even saying?
It's the wiener.
Oh my goodness, it's the wiener. So,
the wiener of the Homebrew Challenge.
This is the final... What's wrong?
Pop field off?
This is the final winner of the Hope theme
for a ranged weapon.
For a ranged weapon, and if you don't know, if you don't know what the Homebrew Challenge is first, before I kind of go into the winner, we host a Homebrew Challenge every other week on our Discord. We pick a theme for the next 3 challenges, and we roll on a table, and then you get to homebrew the things.
You make the item, the BBG, the monster, whatever it is that we roll in the theme of whatever we pick. And then we review all of them on stream, and then the stream chat picks the winner.
And it's so much fun.
It is.
Oh my god. Having it revamped like this has been the best thing we ever did for the Homebrew Challenge, 100%. And it's so much fun.
It makes it so, just like, I think for everyone, like it feels like a little bit more worthwhile, because if you put in a submission, like, yeah, we'd read it because, we'd go through it, but you don't know if everybody else would read it. But with it being on Twitch, like, every submission gets its moment in the limelight. Where we get to like read it out and everyone's like, oh, I really like this part, I really like this part, or you did this bit really well. It's just like, no matter if you win or not, you still get your like few moments of airtime, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's like an event, isn't it? Like people really look forward to the streams that we do. We really look forward to the streams that we do too.
Yeah,
so.
A lot of people turn up for those streams as well.
Yeah, which is good. Which is great, and it's so nice to
see
everyone.
After each other.
Yeah, you really do, by the way. Like really, really, really do. So without any further ado, the winner of the Homebrew Challenge Hope theme is, for a ranged weapon, is Fear for Hire.
Fear for Hire or Fierce Gaming on Twitch.
Fierce is a big stream enjoyer as well. I will say, big stream enjoyer. So, the name of this weapon is called A Stone's Throw Away. And the story goes as this. Long ago, our small town of Riven was just once a small blip on the road to Canabras. We lived rough lives trying to make a few coppers. Your only real options were either deal in less than legal work or attempt to be a runner into the Scarred Lands. For the Scarred Lands was a dangerous home to cruel beasts. Located deep within the territory was a portal ripped into the land. A scar in the earth that let them crawl through into our world. Unfortunately, sometimes they didn't crawl out, they ran. A surge one day led to the scar opening wider. With Riven being on the outskirts, it was only a matter of time before our small town became a small scorch mark.
Sadness.
The horrors of the abyss poured out of the hole, and with them the chaotic destruction that they left in their wake. To this day, people still have yet to truly recover from the horrors inflicted upon us on that day. But we have the Knights of Corinth to thank for finally repelling them after years of brutality. Riven was home to not a great number of good people, but I heard the tale of one of the more prolific runners was caught up in when the incursion happened. But when they came, the city watch died by dozens in minutes. But the runner, she fought for her city to its brutal end.
Yes, she did.
Not a copper to her name, but you didn't need a copper to pick up a rock and throw it. A sling being such a simple weapon didn't stand a chance against the hordes, but that didn't stop her resolve. Now the story varies from here. Some say one of the creatures offered her power to survive the ordeal. Others say the sling shined with a brilliance that outshone the sun. Something only gods could have created. Either way, while she couldn't save her city, the knights that came to the city in its aftermath reported odd occurrences. Large holes pierced through the massive beasts, despite their hides repelling the sturdiest of steel. Massive boulders seemingly flung several yards into and through the beasts. Despite the horrors we faced, we gathered our strength and our hope around this tale. Such a weapon was then heard of making its way through the Scarred Lands all the way to the hall. I had heard a saying going through this fight, hope is only a stone's throw away.
There it is. It said the title.
Eyewitness report, Hope Eversong, about the events of the Abyssal War. I don't know why that gets me so teary-eyed, honestly.
You love the line, don't you? Where they're like,
I do.
You don't need copper to pick up a stone and throw it.
Yeah, honestly, that line, I don't know what it is. I think it's the idea of like solidarity and the fact that it doesn't matter who you are,
who you were,
if you want to fight for your
rise up.
Yeah, if you want to fight for what you believe in and your home and your land and your people, you can. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. And that's what really stood out to me in the whole thing. So the details of A Stone's Throw Away. So it has a range of 60 to 100 feet and it is a magic sling that was granted divine power to overcome immense obstacles. Normal rocks loaded into the sling are enlarged upon release, and their velocity is also enhanced. There was a lot of sling enjoyers.
My God, there was so many. There were so many people part of the sling gang.
There was a lot of sling enjoyers.
There was just the fucking sling enjoyers. They loved the sling. And there was like 5 slings.
And every time there was a new sling, all the sling enjoyers were like, yeah,
you can join the crew.
Slings. So the slings slap. To be fair,
slings are cool. Slings are a cool weapon.
So the sling deals 2d6 force damage. 2 times a day, you can activate one of the 3 buffs. The weapon can grant the effect of haste, bless, affecting 5 creatures, or holy weapon. 4 times a day, as a bonus action, you can activate the special ability to make a 60-foot line of effect. Each creature taking 4d12 force damage unless they make a DC 17 dexterity save, and they take half on a successful save. Additionally, the sling has 3 charges that can be used to replicate the paladin's holy smite ability.
Go smiters. Any smite enjoyers?
Any smite enjoyers
Any
in the chat?
sling smite enjoyers?
And each charge is equal to the level of the spell used. You know what? Like, obviously the lore slaps, right? The lore of it, absolutely. I don't.
You can swear.
Absolute fucking slaps, doesn't it? Yeah, fucking slaps, doesn't it?
It fucking goes hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes fucking hard.
The law goes so hard.
But you know, all genuinely, also like the abilities of the actual
go
slinger
hard as
are
well.
really, really.
It will
good
be
as
a very
well.
high level item, but
Yeah.
you know, when we do the homebrew challenge, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of people who go for like the uncommon or rare. It's always legendary. Can I get 2s on that? I got
a new cup.
I got a new cup
Tell them why.
because I broke it. Because I broke another one.
You may have tracked that's 3 cups so far. This being the 4th. But let's see how long this one lasts. You know what? I am a big fan of this cup.
This is a different design,
and I think it's really cute. Like how I don't know how to describe it. Like
mason jar.
Yeah, I think it's really cute, and I really like the purple. Actually,
do you want to tell them? So basically, I smashed 2 prior to this one, and then I smashed this one. It's been a long time since I smashed one, but I smashed this one, and I've been saying since we got it that style, because it was like thin at the bottom, large on top, and she put so much ice in it and fill it right up to the top, and because it has rubber, like it grips very much to the floor, so it was just so top heavy. And I keep knocking them over. And Margaret was really upset the day that I knocked it over. And she messaged Abby.
I was like, he's fucking broken another one of my cups. Because this, I would like to say, this isn't the 3rd cup you've broken. It's actually more like the 6th or 7th
the
cup
3rd cup
broken.
of that
type cup. And also my cup. And I handled it 100 times more than you. Never broke the cup.
Yeah, but I am a clumsy gentleman. I do be clumsing around. But Abby came to my defense.
You know what? I texted Abby and I was like, he's fucking broken another cup. And she was like, oh, well, it has to be the design, right?
Yes.
And you know what? She said that and I was like, I'm putting my phone down.
You
know what? I'm putting my phone down.
For the rest of the day.
But anywho, sorry, that's completely beside the point.
But new cup. Nice new cool cup.
Nice new cool cup.
Not top heavy.
And cool winner of the Homebrew challenge.
So cool.
Congratulations, Fears. What a
Congratulations, Fears, for hire.
Wonderful submission.
I love it so much.
You guys did. Honestly, the Hope theme popped off.
The Hope theme went hard.
Really popped off. Like, I know it helps the fact that we've changed the way we do it. We do it on stream now. It's like a whole event, right?
Yeah.
But Hope theme popped off, and you guys really, really enjoyed it.
You went hard for the Hope theme.
Yeah.
I don't know if you went hard for like the change in Homebrew challenge, or you went hard for Hope.
Yeah.
Or if it was a mix of both.
A mix of both.
Because it was every single week there was like 25 submissions.
Yeah. Well,
it was insane.
Yeah, this one, there was 41 posts. I know that doesn't like equal submissions, right? But like that was definitely the most entered one, like throughout all of them, right? Like without a single doubt. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And some of the things that you guys came up with,
Wild.
were incredible.
Wild.
And I know that we've only showcased the winners on here, but if every single submission was amazing.
Yeah.
And you can go take a look over our VODs on Twitch where we've read out all of them.
Or you can come catch us live on Twitch Friday and Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT.
Yeah, this Sunday we'll be reading out all of the submissions and picking another winner.
Be there, be square, you know.
I guess that takes us on to the next part of the Homebrew challenge.
So we don't have a dice, is the issue.
No, we don't. We've acquired the dice.
The dice is here.
Listen, we were saying this the other day on stream. We had to roll it on stream.
Yeah.
The bigger the dice,
the harder it is to roll.
Yeah, the worse it feels to roll.
This doesn't feel good to roll.
Yeah, no.
I don't feel satisfied when I roll.
Yeah.
But I will.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
To you.
Well, yeah. Well, we don't we don't have the table. And we haven't even told them what the theme is yet. I'm sorry, we are all over the place. Oh my god. Okay.
Well, we'll tell you what the theme is.
Oh no, I have it on the screen.
She baits me like this.
Oh my god, I absolutely baited all of you. I literally have it on the screen.
I can see it in your glasses.
Yeah.
I can see you looking at it.
You know what? I just had to scroll down.
New liar. She's a liar.
I had to scroll down, maybe not even a centimeter, and it's there.
She's a liar who lies.
Can you see it in my glasses?
You probably can, but I can. Just so you know.
So yes, the new theme,
and
this is the challenge starting today, and you will have until Sunday 7 p.m. GMT. the new theme is dreams and nightmares.
I'm pretty sure Fears Gaming came up with this as
Yeah,
well.
was it Finn? I think it might have been Finn. Game Over Ghost who came up with this.
It might have been Game Over Ghost, yeah.
You know what? I don't fully remember.
It was a frequenter of stream
It
chat.
was someone on stream suggested the dreams and nightmares theme.
Because we've been thinking about doing a dual theme for a while, so you can go at it, like let's just say it's a ranged weapon. You can go at it from the aspect of it is a bow from the dream, a bow from a nightmare, a bow that like flits between the two. It's like you can like choose if it takes maybe like a light turn or a dark turn.
Yeah.
It helps with interpretation. I am so excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah. Our mods ages ago suggested the idea of like a dual theme,
and we finally get to do it.
And yeah, I think this is a really good way to test it. And again, it could either be like straight up dream, straight up nightmare. It could be a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be so interesting to see which side you guys lean into. It's going to be nightmare. It's going to be nightmare in it.
Because you're just all edgy.
Yeah. Gonna be nightmare
Born
confirmed.
on the knife's edge.
Yeah, nightmare confirmed. But yes, that is the theme now. Shall we go over actually what's changed on the rolling table first before you roll on it?
You'll be able to see it because I'll put it up on the screen now. And I'll make a note of it.
So, when we were last talking about the Homebrew Challenge on stream, when we were reading out all the last submissions, we said like we should all probably get together and take a look at the rolling table and see what we can revamp. And goodness gracious me, if we have not revamped this table, I do not know what we have.
Again, stream chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did this all with you guys,
stream.
by the way. We kind of went through and we took out the things that we didn't feel too hot on. We kind of condensed some things too, and we added a whole bunch of new things.
Chat had a big input in what was like combined and like categories that weren't as good and things like that. Because, you know, you're the ones that do it.
Yeah.
You're the people that
exactly.
We don't enter the Homebrew Challenge.
Exactly. And the changes are great. Now, I can't remember what the old table looked like, but it's up. This is what the old table looked like.
Boo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Stinky old table.
Oh my gosh, stings.
Ooh.
Oh.
God.
Who came up with this?
Who came up with this piece of shit? Am I right? Am I right?
So, the new Homebrew rolling table is, let's go from top to bottom. Obviously, it's 1 to 20. It's a D20 dice.
Yeah, because it's a D20. Everyone was like, can we not have 21? I was like,
no.
That defeats the
we
point.
Can't. No.
So, how about that?
What we have on is a melee weapon, ranged weapon, subclass flavor, a wand/staff, a shield, armor, a race, a point of interest.
Love that.
Clothing, accessories, a consumable, NPC/character, a religion, a culture, or a faction.
Love that.
A BBEG, a god, deity, or a patron, a dungeon, a spell, a monster/creature, a quest, or a world primer.
Nice.
And honestly, like I can tell now that we're reading it like what the new stuff is, but so many things have been condensed, so many things have been added. Point of interest, I think, is such an interesting one. A dungeon, accessory, which you know.
A religion, a culture, or faction.
A faction.
That's so cool. Like a group in your world.
Yeah. And I remember the last one, Quest, on number 19.
Number 19.
It was between a quest or like a festival, a festivity/holiday.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't decide. And in the end, we put a poll up.
We let the dice. No, after
a poll in
did we poll it?
Oh no, we rolled a dice.
We rolled a dice. We let the dice decide.
And hey, the dice chose Quest.
Yeah. Which you know, the dice would choose a quest.
Yeah, true.
The dice are quest enjoyers.
So that's the new table.
So what are we gonna do?
Very exciting. We're just rolling it. Oh, are you saying what?
Yeah. I'm rolling now.
I thought you were trying to say like, so what are we gonna do with it?
What are we gonna do with it, Margaret? Huh?
What are we gonna do with it now?
Let me put down that I'm gonna roll this dice.
Yeah, go on. Roll the dice. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
I don't know where I clapped us out. Sorry.
Give it a kiss.
Give it a kiss.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah.
Down in the comments. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah.
3.
It is. It's subclass flavor. Oh my
god.
Goodness gracious me.
Oh my god.
Subclass flavor.
Oh my god.
This is
subclass
actually
flavor?
that's so weird. This is actually the very first new change that's on the on the actual
yes,
what's it called?
On the table.
The table. Oh my goodness, a subclass flavor. So when we were discussing this, we were like, a subclass would be cool, but like that's way too much to put into. There's a 3,000 character limit, right?
Yeah, you're gonna struggle to get all the features and then the flavor text in.
Truly.
So a lot of you just seem to enjoy the more, like storytelling aspect of like these things. So we thought we can do flavor. If you want to like put a little bit of mechanics in there, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But mostly, tell me about your Dreams and Nightmares subclass. Can be for any class.
Yes, it can be anything.
Any
anything
homebrew. It could be like the class itself or something like that if you wanted to. But homebrew subclass flavor for a dream/nightmare.
Oh,
that's so cool.
That's very cool. Maybe
something that could flip between.
Well, yeah.
It could heal in the dream.
Yeah.
Damage in
the nightmare, like Wither and Bloom. That's really. Oh, God.
He's trying to get behind the chair.
The dog's coughing. He's knocked the light. Goodness me. Would you like me to clap us out?
No, we're okay.
All right. So you have until Sunday the 10th of March, 7 p.m. GMT exactly.
7 p.m. GMT.
To get your submissions
Because at that time, on stream, we're going to review all of your homebrew submissions. So be there and enjoy yourselves in the chat.
We also so all of the submissions go through Discord. There is like a whole challenge discussion channel in there as well, where you can talk about your ideas, what to add in. It's so nice to see people chatting in those channels again. And send us in your dreams and nightmares subclass flavor.
Yum.
And with that, shall we get into today's topic? You can oh no. Oh, you can't. I'm so sorry. Oh, the entity. Yeah, sorry. I'll tell you. It's fine. I'll tell you. Today we are doing D&D Unpopular Opinions. Boom, boom, boom.
I did the time wrong. I'm dreadful at this.
Oh no.
I'm just the worst at this.
I should have. You know what? I probably should have done it today.
No.
To be honest.
Well, I wrote the time down as ET53.
Nice. ET.
ET. Not phoning home. He's actually 53 years old.
That's all he wanted you to know.
All he ever wanted you to know. When he put his finger out, he was like,
I'm 53,
I'm
by
53,
the way.
By
the way.
Just so you know, mate, I'm 53.
I'm 53 years young, I'll have you know.
Oh, goodness gracious, mate. Some unpopular opinions.
Some unpopular opinions.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of yours in here.
Is there?
Is there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Margaret planned the episode, not me. I was too busy getting this all together.
No. Well, there is some.
There's some.
Hold on.
That's good to know.
There's two.
So many.
There's two of your unpopular opinions.
Thank you very much for sending your unpopular opinions in. If you do want to send any of your unpopular opinions in, the Google Doc is down below. Head there and send us any of your Am I the Assholes, horror stories, unpopular opinions, horrible house rules, or some advice that you would like.
Yeah. You know what? It's hard. It's hard sending your unpopular opinion.
It's hard
to be honest.
Yeah, anytime that you might have something that we might disagree with.
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite hard to send.
Yeah,
it in.
of course it is. Like,
Understandably.
Naturally. Could you put this somewhere that isn't on my seat? I'm sorry. I'm like paralyzed here.
Paralyzed?
I don't want to say this is the most uncomfortable I've ever been.
Paralyzed.
This is the most uncomfy on the podcast I have actually ever been.
Go on, jiggle around, get comfy.
But it might be.
Get jiggling.
I'm jiggling.
Jiggle.
I don't know what I've done to my knee.
Broken, dislocated it on the podcast.
Goodness gracious
me. On the podcast. All this heavy lifting, she's carrying the podcast.
I'm like pushing my feet up against it.
Oh, stop it.
Can you see my foot?
No,
I really hope you can't see my foot.
Can't see your foot. Why don't you show them? Lift it up.
No! If you can see my foot, no, you can't. I've put a sticker over it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You gotta pay for that.
Yeah, you don't get that for free.
LDB only fans.
So yes, the first two are submissions, and then the rest of the 13 are indeed from the Reddit. So many from you. So without any further ado, shall we just get into it?
Let's go.
And again, before we start, we call this unpopular opinions, but everyone's opinion is completely subjective. If any of these you agree with, these work for you at your table, then that is completely your prerogative.
Don't listen to a word we say.
Exactly. What works for you, and that's the most important thing.
We're just having a bit of fun on the internet.
Exactly.
The internet smells.
Like
it's good to
beef.
have fun here.
All right. So this first submission, this has been sent in by Sophie, and she uses she, her pronouns.
Thank you very much, Sophie.
And it's Sophie with a little smiley face too. So, hi gang, yet another submission from your favorite watcher, Down Under. I think you will both agree with this take, but I will post it anyway. The submission in the most recent advice video about the party at the Witchlight Carnival refusing to stay together inspired me to submit this hot take.
Yes.
Most metagaming in D&D is good, actually. Metagaming is whenever your character acts on information that you personally know, but your character does not. You, the player, know that these random people you've just met at the Witchlight Carnival for the first time are going to be the characters your character adventure with.
Yes.
Your character does not know this.
No.
Sticking with these randoms would be acting on information your character doesn't know, but it is necessary to keep the game moving.
Yes.
Additionally, DMs offer information to players that their characters wouldn't know all the time, like signaling that the bad guy is going to be too difficult to fight in order to avoid that TPK.
Yes.
I DM Cursive Strahd. I just straight up tell the party what Strahd thinks of them and whether or not Lady Vampire Strahd, for the win, wants to kill them so they know how to approach and interact with her. Their characters would not know the inner workings of Strahd's psychology, but their characters can act on this information, giving them a clearer understanding of their place in the module and allowing them to make more informed decisions. I don't think that this is particularly controversial. I just think that there is more positive metagaming in an average session of D&D than negative metagaming.
There's like two types of metagaming, isn't there? There is metagaming to, make the dungeon master have a bad time.
Yeah.
Or make the other players around you have a bad time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on 2 death saves and I'm going to die. And then the guy's like, well, I don't know that. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do this. And it's just like, yeah, like I understand what you're saying. But there's so many times where metagaming, there is metagaming that is actually helpful. Yes, in the first session, all of us not knowing each other and teaming up with a group of randoms is probably something your character wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Like anybody in the world wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But we have to suspend our disbelief at some point
Yeah.
because we're playing a game.
Yeah.
So we understand that we are going to get together and adventure. That's good metagaming.
Yeah.
That's just doing what the game is needed for the game to function.
Yeah.
Like, that's good metagaming. Metagaming that is bad is, again, where you like, oh, well, I know that this monster Hydra needs, like, fire, so it's fucking...
Exactly.
Just, like, your character doesn't know that, and you're ruining this combat to do that.
And, it's again, that was actually the exact example I was going to give of being like, oh, well, I know that this character is immune to this, or this monster is immune to this, and then you just say, like, above table, and you just go, everyone just kill it with fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like...
The troll can't regenerate if we hit it with fire, so just hit it with fire. It's just like,
exactly.
Your character doesn't know that.
But the thing is, I also believe that there is some cases in which a character might know that stuff, and if you role play that stuff out, and if you ask the DM, would my character know this? I actually think that's fine too.
We've had it before, haven't we? It was just like, I'm an adventurer, I'm going to know about monsters. It's just like, okay, if that's the case, roll me a nature check.
Yeah.
Roll me like a monster check or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like anything to do, like a history check. Did you learn this? Did you look in the right book when you were a child? Like, willing and wanting to be an adventurer. Like, we can make your character know that if you roll well.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I also fully agree with Sophie. I honestly think there is more positive metagaming that goes on as opposed to negative metagaming.
No.
What do you think about metagaming? Oh God. What do you think about metagaming?
Do you want to tell us your thoughts on metagaming?
Oh my goodness, so insightful.
No.
What a genius.
You sit down there. That's why your seat's down there. Oh, isn't it?
No.
Good lad. Go on. Get yourself down there. Good boy.
I think there is more positive metagaming.
I think, And in the grand scheme of things, if you actually put them on a scale, there's like metagaming can positively impact the game, probably a bit more than it can negatively impact the game.
Yeah.
But again, that's just because, like, the majority, I know on here we cover a lot of stinky stories.
Yeah.
But the majority of people do just want to play Dungeons and Dragons to have a good time.
Yeah, and also I think kind of the example that Sophie gave here of being like, as the player, this is your adventuring party. You know that these are all your friends at the table and you have to get along for the sake of it, right? I wouldn't even necessarily call that metagaming. I would just call that suspending your disbelief a little bit. You know what I mean? As opposed to metagaming.
That's what I would call it as well. But, it is technically metagaming.
Yeah, agreed.
Above the game, you are using knowledge that you don't have as the player. So I get it, but, like I said, the good players outweigh the bad players, so most people will metagame in the right way.
Yeah.
And just suspend the disbelief. And, push past the things that don't matter to get the things that do matter.
Yeah. And I think I think people would be so torn on this. I think the idea...
I don't think they would.
I think people would. I think people would be so torn on the idea that there's good metagaming, honestly. Like, it's one of the things that's absolutely resented the most is metagaming, I would say.
Yeah, by, like, a select few people who are silly sausages,
Oh,
I think.
yeah. Do you think it's unpopular?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't think it's unpopular either, but I feel like there will definitely be people who think that it is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your submission.
Sophie.
What a great one. Thank you so much.
Sophie Smiley first.
All right, this next one. This has been sent in by Tula, and she goes by she, her.
Thank you very much, Tula.
Thank you so much, Tula. And the title is, I don't treat all of my players the same. For all my campaigns, I treat each of my players different from the next. I ask my players what they most like about D&D, do they have character goals, how they feel about character death, etc., and then I DM my campaign with those factors in mind. I have had some players who love their characters and it would be very much a bother to them to have them die, so I just give them a bit of plot armor. But deaths due to very poor choices can still happen.
Yes.
Some players love very hard combats, so I will make combats with challenging for their characters to be the primary goal. A terrain that might not be ideal, for example.
Yes.
When I run a campaign for these multiple types of players, everybody knows ahead of time that I will be planning the game with this in mind. That I will be actively trying to give them what they want from the story and to not compare all the players/characters directly. But also to come talk to me if you aren't a fan of something that I'm doing anyway.
Yeah, and I think I have a group like this as well.
Yeah, you do very much so. Yeah.
I very much have a group of, like, I've got like a tactician of Josh. I've got two really, really intense role players in you and Matthew.
Yeah.
And then I've got like a person who not doesn't want to lose.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
would prefer to, like, optimize her character to the point where optimize her character. Build her character like in an image that she really enjoys, and like that image is very much like what she wants, which is Abby. Like Abby likes the game in a particular way. She likes the story, she likes the turn, she really likes the plot.
Yeah.
And she likes the like, and I know that she does, and that's why I put like twists and turns and secrets in there for all of you. But like she really like gets into that. You and Matthew love the story and like the NPCs.
Yeah.
You get like really attached to like NPCs and like you like to see like their stories play out as well as yours.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
And then I have Josh who, he likes that stuff, but he does love a tough combat. He does love like when it's, odds stacked against him.
Yeah,
and he has to like think his way through a combat.
It's when that moment when everyone goes really quiet and you can tell everyone's having to like think about what their next move is. I think that is where Josh thrives the most.
I agree.
And I think that's what Josh enjoys the most.
I agree, and I think he's really good at it is the thing.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think that's where he can really like truly help out where maybe some of the other of you might get a little stuck.
Yeah.
There's some things that he does where I'm like, even like I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to be like a thing that happens. So, like I agree. And if I tried to apply one rule for Abby to Josh, dreadful. She'd have a terrible time.
Yeah,
he'd have a terrible time because he
agreed.
wouldn't get who he wants.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think you and Matthew are definitely the more flexible.
Yeah.
You like enjoy most aspects of the game.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Quite heavily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and death being permanent is something that, I have come away from as a dungeon master quests to bring people back, or like journeys to bring people back, or like just having to sacrifice something else to bring you back. Like, yeah, I think, and the thing is too, like, I bet you know your players super well.
Yeah, in exactly the same way that you know us well. And I think you've come away from the death thing because you haven't DM'd that many campaigns. This is your third campaign.
Third full-time
you're
campaign,
DMing, you know. And I don't think you've, apart from me, I don't think you have ever met a player who really doesn't want their character to die.
Yeah.
And I think because you as a player didn't, the idea for you of your character not being able to die ruins the whole thing for you.
Yeah, it just takes me out of it.
I think you really struggled to be able to separate that in your mind,
my feelings,
from our feelings.
Correct.
If that makes sense.
I agree.
And I think you felt like you were doing us a disservice.
Yeah.
By making death not be a permanent thing.
Agreed.
But I think it's only been very recently, actually, you've learned that like different players can have different things, and it's not a reflection on you.
I think it was when TRP died.
Yeah.
And like I spoke to Abby about it, and I was like, basically just like hearing what she had to say, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I making it difficult?
Yeah.
I do genuinely believe that losing something is important.
Yes, I agree.
But
I
just
agree.
losing your character and like that's it.
Yeah.
I think feels bad.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, someone like Abby and me, by the way, who we put everything into our characters. And there will be people out there, and there definitely is people, and people have said this to me, like, oh, I can't believe you're already getting out of your character. Like, what if your character dies? And I'm like, well, like, if I can't get invested in my character from the beginning in that way, I'm never going to get invested in my character.
And I probably don't want to play
like,
it.
That's just how I have to get into my character. And Abby's exactly the same.
Yeah, I think, like, you and Abby, and to an extent Matthew, I think.
Yeah.
Like, really invest quite a lot in terms of, like, emotionally.
Yeah.
But, like, in physical things, like, you make art, you, like Abby like links names to like popular media that she likes and things like that, and like you come to me with all of these like different like avenues and paths that we could walk down with Blythe as a character, and it's just like, for me to just say death is death and that's it, like, kind of isn't fair, because we can still make death like something to fear. Like, we might lose something narratively, we might lose something like physically, we might like lose a part of ourselves, a memory.
Yeah.
We might have to like travel somewhere and like
might have to do something we don't want to do.
Fish your soul out of the sea of the abyss or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. Like, we can do the fact, like, we can do something.
Yeah.
To make it still cost a lot.
I agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
Like 100% completely agree. And yeah, I think that what happened with Abby, because I remember you came to me and you were like, I don't know what to say because I need her to lose XYZ. And I remember being like, why? Why do you need her to have that?
And to be fair, she still did. But the thing is, she lost something, because the whole thing was, I said to her, I was like, what about like the parents again?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, you are technically like, they are your thralls now.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't think that doesn't feel good. Like, that already happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what about Vinriel? And she was like, She was like, that feels like bad, because, he was the first person I turned. We've made a plan for after the campaign where me and him are going to go through the land.
Yeah.
Like, getting rid of other vampires, either trying to turn them, like, so they don't have a bloodthirst. And she was like, he's an integral part of that plan. Like, if he puts himself in that position instead of her, like, she's going to feel guilty, and that's going to basically ruin her plans.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe that's enough. And she was like, that feels right.
Yeah.
And that was a compromise.
Yeah. And I think like, if you two didn't have that relationship where like you trust each other, like, I think that conversation would have been really hard. And sorry, I realize we've kind of gotten off the topic a little bit here.
No, but it's different players. Yeah, different players need different things.
I agree. I very, very much agree. And I think, good reflection on life, right? People need different ways of approaching life.
Yeah.
Like,
I think as well, like, as a dungeon master, you won't have that straight away.
No, God, no.
Because especially if you're playing with strangers, like, you won't know exactly what is important to them, especially if they're new players straight away.
Yes, very much
But
so.
just, like, see what gets them excited. Like, if you're doing, like, stars and wishes, like see what they wish for and see what they star every time, because that'll give you an idea of what they want. And just, you know, knowing that this person is interested in combat, this person's interested in roleplay, this person's interested in their backstory, and that's it. Like, is massive information.
Yeah, it's so easy to be able to just, I don't know. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, you're all too soft. Oh, you're making it too soft. Oh, death is death, and oh, well, you shouldn't get so attached to these characters, and it's just a game, and you know, what's the point in playing if it's not realistic? And I think people who think like that, unfortunately, have a very, very narrow idea of what D&D could potentially mean to someone.
Yeah.
Like,
I
think
agree.
Like people's D&D characters mean so much to them for so many different reasons that, you know, some reasons I could never even comprehend. And I think to just be like, oh, everyone's too soft. It's like, but is everyone having fun?
Yeah.
Because if everyone's having fun,
then it doesn't matter.
That's the most important
nothing
thing.
else matters as long as they're having fun.
Yeah, 100%. So all of that to say, I completely agree, Shula.
I completely agree.
Like, I think 100%. And again, yeah, like Jack said, this isn't going to be something that you get immediately.
Straight away, no,
right?
No way.
It will be through like experience and through like playing probably with the same people
for a little while,
yeah,
and just listening to them and seeing and just like gauging the reactions of like maybe you do a plot twist and two people are like, and other people are like, oh, that's cool. It's just like, well, clearly I understand who's like more invested in the story.
Yeah, exactly.
And who, you know, like maybe isn't, and they care more about the combat or something like that.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you so very much, Chula, for your submission. And oh my goodness,
I think it's a bit cold. Should I shut that window?
Oh, sweet pea. You think it's cold?
I think he's a bit cold.
I don't think it's cold at all.
Little cold man with a little cold nose.
I think he just wants some attention.
Little handsome.
I don't want to say you've been a little bit of a nightmare, and we're nearly an hour into the episode, and we have to stream in an hour and a half. But
I don't care. I don't care, mummy.
But you know. God, I'm sorry. I feel like this episode really has just been all over the place.
It's all right. You don't need to apologize. Everyone's in a new environment, you know.
Yeah. Change is hard. Are we gonna get down, Sweet Pea? I can't push him off.
You can.
He'll swing my chair.
No, you can do it. Go on.
Oh God!
He's so strong for an old dog.
Oh goodness gracious me!
You just sit down in between days.
Would you like to clap out, or is he all right?
No, he's okay.
Okay, he's gone. So, all the other ones, these are all from the Reddit. So, I don't want to say this is where it could potentially get stinky.
Oh, but it's going to get stinky.
This is where it could potentially get a little bit stinky.
You know it's getting stinky. It's going to stink one way or the other.
All right, so this first one is, the I'm begging you to try another RPG thing is actually kind of elitist and kind of shitty. Like, I get the Wizards of the Coast is an awful corporation, but D&D is pretty much the industry standard and what most people know. Not every DM has the time to learn a new system every week, and tons of parties would have no interest in doing so. Just don't worry about what other tables are doing.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think?
I think. Look, I understand. Wizards of the Coast stink.
Oh, yeah.
Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. Oh, truly.
Rancid vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actual necrotic vibes.
Honestly, maybe not even necessarily Wizards of the Coast, but definitely Hasbro.
Oh, Hasbro. Yeah, Hasbro.
Definitely
Hasbro. Wizards of the Coast, you know, like they put a lot of time
I feel like, Wizards of the Coast kind of do
you know, making the game what we want, and, you know, they're listening to feedback and things like that. So, you know, the fact that they're owned by Hasbro, and maybe the people higher up in Wizards of the Coast just don't really care about the game. I understand.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about, like, the thing is, like, a lot of us, I've said this before, a lot of us just learn Dungeons and Dragons because they want to roleplay and roll dice with their friends. Yeah. And that's just the system that everybody knows.
Agreed. I feel like D&D is very, very much so now, like the gateway into it. I mean, someone else has said this previously.
It's the Coca-Cola of TTRPG.
It is very much so.
It's the biggest brand. Yeah. It's the one that everyone knows. And, you know, like, people, again, they just want to get into the hobby. They don't want to have to learn 4 different systems because, you know, you're not trying hard enough if you aren't. Yeah. Like, they just want to roleplay with their friends and play a TTRPG. Yeah. And that's the one they're going to learn because that's the one that everyone knows. That's the one that's going to give them more chance to get into every game. Yeah, yeah. And, you know, if you just learn Pathfinder first and not D&D, you're going to struggle to find a game because it pales in comparison to how many games
yeah.
are out
No,
there.
I agree. Although the thing is, we say regularly, if you're not enjoying D&D, and
if you're not enjoying it though.
Yeah, like we regularly say there is many other TTRPGs out there. Like if you have a pain point with D&D, I guess I read this wrong then. If you're taking it as in like I'm begging you to try another RPG as just being like, oh, because D&D's shit. Like I was reading it as in like, oh, you should expand your horizons and try other TTRPGs.
Well, yeah, but like it's tough because I agree. Like if you have a pain point with D&D, do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't care, then there's literally no reason.
Like us, for example, like, you know, we have no reason other than if we wanted to try another system. And it's not that we don't want to, because we certainly do, but it is so much to learn.
Like I would learn it. I know I'd be the one to learn it out of the five of us.
Yeah, you would be, yeah, definitely.
And then, you know, I'd be happy to teach everyone, but like they don't want to waste time doing that.
Yeah.
They just want to play D&D and
yeah.
just, you know, like story with their friends and roll some dice and kill some monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if we ever get bored and if we ever get to the point where we're like, we want to try something else, then that's when we should do it.
Yeah, I agree.
But just doing it for the sake of like, I have to broaden my horizons. It's like, why? Do you enjoy D&D?
Yeah, I agree.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I read this completely wrong, you know? Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the idea of just being like, oh, you should just because D&D is shit. I think that's completely not a valid argument at all.
Because D&D's not shit.
No,
like,
I agree.
I understand that people have like issues with it, and I understand that people think it's shit, but it's like, it's not. Because it wouldn't be as big as it is if it was shit. Is it, you know, like it doesn't go into as much granular detail as some of the systems do, but I think that's probably why it's big, because some people don't give a fuck about that. But if you want to give a fuck about that, there's supplements to D&D to make it go into that direction. Yeah. So it's like, it can be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah.
And if you want it to be that, you can.
It's the time commitment. Like, we're all adults who all have jobs and all have responsibilities and all have like very, very, you know, how many times do we hear that scheduling is the BBEG of D&D? Because like no one has the time to get together anymore. Like I think, but I mean, you know, I also am a huge advocate of saying like, if for whatever reason D&D is feeling bad to you, to look into another TTRPG.
But that's when you should do it.
Yeah.
Like if you learn D&D.
Can I have the drink?
Yeah. If you learn Dungeons and Dragons because, you know, you wanted to play TTRPGs with your mates, and you actually got into TTRPGs and you're like, there's a lot of problems with this in terms of the way that I like to play. I want to try a different system. It's like, go for it. Do it.
Yeah, I agree.
But otherwise, there's no fucking reason if you don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think this is unpopular?
No.
I don't think it's unpopular. No, I don't think it's popular
because I think it's for the right reason.
Yeah. I don't think it's unpopular either. Yeah, agreed. All right, this next one. The next two are from the same person, but I've just split them up into two.
Nice.
So this is story-based advancement and milestone advancement sucks, and plain XP is superior in every way. It is easier on the DM, and pacing is more pleasant for the players.
I just cannot. But this is the thing. If it works for you, fine.
Yeah.
Like if for you as a dungeon master, you're saying to me, XP is so much easier for me. It's like, then do it.
Yeah.
If dungeon masters' lives can be made easier in any way, that's what you should do. But I don't think that milestone leveling or story beat leveling
think they sucks. No, definitely not.
Because I use it and it doesn't suck.
It's kind of hard for us to have the perspective because we've never played in a game with XP leveling. But like, you know, I know for us, the thing is, it depends how you do XP leveling as well. Like if you do XP leveling in the way of like whoever gets the killing blow gets the XP.
To be fair, I
hate that.
I don't think many people do it that way.
Do you not think?
No, I think it is very much just like this dragon gives 1000 XP. There is 5 of you. You all get 200 XP each. Yeah. Or it's like this dragon gives 1000 XP. You all get 1000 XP.
Yeah, you know what? I can see XP leveling working for people who they like to have a set idea and like a set point for when this is going to happen, so they can go, okay, I need to do another 5 encounters of this level to be able to get them to that level, for example. Whereas I feel like XP leveling is just vibes.
XP
Not
leveling,
XP, milestone leveling, sorry, is just
milestone
vibes.
leveling is vibes.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times where we get to the end of a session and I'm like, that feels like a level up.
Yeah.
I don't even like plan it. I'm like, that it's been long enough.
Yeah.
It feels like a good time to level up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say we're level 5.
Yeah.
That's what I did last session.
Yeah.
Like I before the session, I wasn't like, hey.
Oh goodness me.
Get out. Please. I wasn't like, you're gonna level up at the end of the session at level 5. But we got to the end of the session, and I was like, you're leveling up. Like, it felt right.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a big session in terms of story.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, we got a really cohesive plan for, like, the next session, like, or, like, where we're going and what we're doing, and we were like, okay. And I was like, okay, level 5.
Yeah.
And it just felt right. And
I very much agree. And, like, I think it's the blanket statement of milestone
story-based
sucks. Like, you know, that's not true. And also the statement that it's easier on the DM and pacing is more pleasant for XP leveling. That's also not true.
That's also subjective.
But that's so subjective.
Like, you're making a subjective opinion fact, and that's just not right.
Yeah,
like,
indeed.
because for you it might be easier.
Yeah.
For me it wouldn't be because because I've never ran XP leveling.
Yeah, 100%.
But for you it's easy because that's what you've done.
Yeah,
and that's fine. But the thing is, I will never say that XP leveling sucks, because if it works for you, fine. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
As long as whatever you're doing works for you, that's fine. But not for me.
Yeah, no,
fine.
yeah, agreed. Do you think this is unpopular?
Yes, because of the way it's worded.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
Mine's right and yours is wrong.
Yeah.
I can just never get down with those
And you know
opinions.
what? I also think, like, XP versus milestone leveling, like, I think there's actually less of a divide than people think there is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people assume nowadays, like, in, you know, that like a newer generation have come to D&D, that story leveling is the actual standard now. But I don't think it is. I think there is actually a good mix of XP and milestone.
Yeah, I think I would like to maybe try XP at one point to just see how I feel.
Yeah.
But my problem is because I homebrew basically every monster I run.
Yeah.
Like, that means I have to think of XP values for it. But then I'm like, well, then it makes it even easier because then I can just make the XP values up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the way it works for us
It's fine,
yeah. Completely agreed. I feel like how I know I would not like to run if I ever DM'd, which I wouldn't, but, you know, like,
never
again.
Never.
Like, XP leveling for me, I would be stuck weirdly in the middle. I would be like, oh man, it feels like they should level up, but because we spent 2 sessions role playing and we actually didn't get a combat done, now I have to shoehorn this combat in that doesn't feel right anymore. And I think that would be my problem.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, when you fucking just go on vibes, right?
And do you remember that one where it was just like, I know all of the XP values, and I know that my dungeon master has lied because we shouldn't have leveled up then. And then it's just like, and then you have people like that, but with story leveling, like, you can't.
Now that's metagaming.
You can't have that.
Yeah.
Like, that can't happen because it's like, it's up to the dungeon master and the story that they know when you level up.
Agreed.
And nobody can metagame that.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I feel like that is unpopular.
That is unpopular.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, this next one, same person, just a different.
Go on then.
Just a different point. Every person who demands that a new DM should start with Lost Mines of Phandelver is genuinely making the hobby worse. The best way to be a great DM quickly is to run headfirst into your first god-awful homebrew campaign and then make it better next time. Modules of vampires for creativity. I think that is completely wrong. I think that is such a cruel, such a nasty.
I'll say it. That's a fucking dumb opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I think,
a dumb idiot opinion.
You know, we no longer live in a world where it's acceptable to be like, oh God, you have to what's the word? Not Ring of Fire.
Trial by fire. Burn ring of fire.
You know, trial by fire. I feel like that is just such an archaic, boring, old way. It's, you know, I actually have a perfect example of why this is really bad.
Go on.
I worked in a call center.
Okay.
I went to a call
Let's
center.
see where this goes.
Right? And we had to have very, very, very intense training to be able to go on the phones properly, right?
Yeah.
And even then, even with all the intense training that we had, the first few phone calls you make are always absolutely terrifying.
Oh, dreadful.
And you know what? I started with about 30 people. By the end of the first week, when we actually started going on the phones, I am not exaggerating, there was about 5 of us left.
Yeah.
Everyone left because it was so terrible being thrown in at the deep end like that. And people are well within their right. If they're going into something that they're not fully comfortable with, they're having to wing, they're feeling uncomfortable, uncertain, unsure of themselves. That's a surefire way, by the way, to make sure someone never does anything ever
Never
again.
wants to, feels underconfident.
100%.
And feels like they've done something wrong.
Exactly.
Like, I did the same thing when I was in, it was like phone sales. Like, my manager was like, go on then. And I was like, what? And he was like, call someone. I was like, I don't know. I don't look, I can talk. I have a podcast.
Yeah.
And those of you who are on stream know that I can talk forever.
Yeah.
Like,
same.
To anyone about almost anything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to like me having to talk to you when you don't want to talk to me.
I know, horrible.
Oh my God,
absolutely
that's tough.
awful.
But to bring it back to Dungeons and
Yes,
Dragons.
sorry.
No, it's a fantastic analogy. I completely agree. It's like Lost Mines of Phandelver is good because I think it is a very small, very condensed, very compact version of something that you go in, you do the stuff, you get out, and then you can take it from there and like run onto a proper campaign.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there are some people, me, who I did my first homebrew like game, and I, chucked myself in at the deep end and I floated.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of people who chuck themselves in at the deep end and drown.
Me.
Like, dreadfully drown.
Me.
Because there's, you're not just... You need to learn how to balance combat. You need to learn how to balance classes. Then you need to learn about doing NPCs and towns and world building and story and BBEG and monsters and creatures. Just like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If you have a helping hand to see if you even like dungeon mastering first, because running a module, the thing is, right, if you run a module and you love it and then you go into homebrew and you hate it, then it's just like, well, I like dungeon mastering, but I just like running modules. Done. Easy. But if you go into homebrewing and you don't run a module, you're like, I just fucking hate dungeon mastering.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you like one or the other.
Like, me, when I DM'd, I was way too ambitious. The amount of times we've said, I should have ran a module before I actually did anything for a DM. I think one of the biggest reasons I didn't enjoy DMing is because I took on my own story. There was so many plot points that I constantly worried about. There was so many things I was just so worried because I didn't have any guidelines at all.
Yeah.
I basically, training wheels were off and I just went in and I came away feeling like a piece of shit every single time. Because I was like, man, I was underprepared. I did a bad job because I couldn't remember these things. I didn't touch on these things properly because I didn't have it laid out for me. You know what I mean? The fucking, my God, there's a whole reason, by the way. Training wheels are a thing for a reason.
Yeah.
And like, when you first learn to ride a bike, you're going to fucking need training wheels.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. I think the thing is with this, right? Like, I think the two things I would offer any new dungeon master in terms of advice is run a module or run a one-shot.
Agreed.
Like, the one-shot can be homebrewed, but the thing is, you don't have to worry about, like, the wider world. You don't have to worry.
Exactly.
Like, you'll get a sense of running a couple of NPCs, running a combat, doing a tiny story to conclusion, and seeing how it feels in terms of like an arc.
And I wish I had more than anything.
I think that running a one shot or running a small module like Lost Mines of Phandelver, who'd have thought it, who'd have believed it, is perfect to start because you aren't committing to a ginormous like campaign where people have to make characters and then you have to worry about letting them down if you don't want to continue. Like, there's so many things, there's so many pressures when it comes to like committing to a homebrew campaign for the first time, whereas doing a one shot or a module just doesn't give you.
Sorry, didn't plug my phone in.
Didn't plug the phone in,
so phone nearly died.
But we're back.
I can't remember what we were saying.
You basically, I think we were talking about I don't really know.
I think I'm just trying to say I hate the idea that everyone needs to go through tough love.
Yeah.
Like the idea that it should be hard and you need to sink before you can swim. And I just don't think that that's I think that's a really toxic way.
You'll learn so much more this way. I just can't subscribe to that because like I learn the thing that I need to learn, the thing that's most important to learn is, do I like being a dungeon master? I'll find that out by doing a one shot or doing a couple of shot, like where I do like a small like contained adventure or something like that, where people don't have to commit to these huge stories, where I don't have to let anyone down by basically saying like I thought I was going to enjoy it, but I don't, and now these backstories that you've created are now like null and void.
Yeah, which is exactly what I did.
It's like, what's the point in doing that when I could just do something far smaller and learn the exact same thing, if I like it or not.
And I really, really disagree with the sentiment that modules are vampires for creativity. I think it's the complete exact opposite. Just because
I think that says more about you.
I think that says more about the OP than it says about anyone else. Agreed. Like certainly not. And I really hate the elitism that comes with being like, oh well, homebrewing's so much better. Oh, I wouldn't dare run a module because I want to create everything. I want everything to be original. Spoiler, nothing's original anymore.
Nothing's original.
And just because you need those, literally the training wheels doesn't make you any lesser than. No. It's a feeling of, the impression I'm getting here is a feeling of being lesser than. If you run a module,
you're lesser than somebody who's homebrewed.
Yeah, and if you can't just jump in head first and then learn from it. Not everyone learns like that. Some people do. Certainly, some people do, definitely.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Like, just getting in and doing it and, like, adapting on the fly is very much how I learn.
Yeah.
But I don't think I speak for everyone.
No.
And, like, the thing is, the fact that worked for me and I'm still sat here going, do a one-shot or do a small module, that's probably the way that you'll have the most success.
Agreed. I fully agree.
Is just speaks to how incorrect I think this opinion is.
And I think a better example than the call center example I gave is, I did this with my first campaign. I jumped in head first. I did a full homebrew
you thought of a whole world. You had us all make our characters, make our backstories, everything.
I got really involved. And I had such a horrible time with it. I will never DM ever again. It's put me off ever wanting to try it again, even though I know I would enjoy doing something like a one-shot or a module. I just won't do it because I had such a horrible time.
I think you'll end up coming to the point where you want to do a module or something. Or at least a one-shot.
Yeah, maybe or maybe not. And it's okay either way.
Not. If not, it doesn't matter. You don't need to. Yeah. Like, if you just know you don't like DMing, that's fine. But like I think to give yourself a better chance, like
I know that's it. It's giving yourself a better chance.
Do something like that.
Agreed, 100%. So no, I think. Do I think that this is completely unpopular? I mean, I think it's unpopular.
I think it's dreadful.
Do you think in general it's an unpopular opinion?
I think this would divide a lot of people.
I think it would too. Yeah.
I think the thing is, I understand what you're saying, but you just don't understand what I'm saying, which is the part which I don't get.
Which is the most frustrating thing of all of it, right? Yeah. Is that I can see your point, but you certainly can't see mine.
You just can't be bothered to see mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I just don't like about opinions like this.
Kind of rancid, I'm not going to lie.
Stinky, smelly, rancid vibes.
Can I have my drink back, please? I have such a sore throat. Oh my gosh.
Yummy.
Thank you. You know what? I've got so many. Can you see how many hairs are on this thing?
No.
Because there's a lot. By the way, there's a lot of hairs on this thing.
Because you put it on the seat.
All right. This next one. This is no anthropomorphic races. I do not want to be in a JRPG. And also, no airships, firearms, robots, or steam power.
That's fine. If that's what you want.
Yeah, again.
If that's what floats your boat, do that. But, like, don't set that as a hard rule for everyone, because that's unfair. Because there's many people who love fairy races.
Me,
Margaret,
me.
I play Worgans.
I love the fairy
Taurens.
races.
They're fairies. They're cow people.
The thing is, again, I would never judge someone for not wanting to be an anthropomorphic race, but would
I stop you from doing that if that's what you wanted?
Yeah,
no, never.
And the thing is, again. How much hate do furries get?
A lot.
Just I don't even know why. For whatever preconceived notion, but you would never judge someone. I would never judge someone for not
being
wanting to play one. Oh no, yeah, certainly. God no. If
you
being a furry,
if you don't
absolutely
want to be furry,
not.
and I know somebody who doesn't like playing furry races.
Yeah.
And who struggles I maybe don't get the part where you struggle to get along with other people who play fairy
Yeah, I
races.
think that's ridiculous.
I don't think that's particularly good, but like, I don't want to play. It's just like, that's fine. You don't have to. Like, nobody's forcing you to. When it comes to things like firearms, airships, and what was the other one?
Robots and steam power.
Robots and steam power. You clearly just want low fantasy.
Yeah, which is fine.
And
which is so valid, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with low fantasy. Low fantasy is a genre for a reason. Low fantasy is very popular for a reason.
What do you mean high fantasy?
Low fantasy.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
I think you mean high fantasy.
Do I?
Yeah. Like high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. High fantasy. I got it the wrong way around.
Yeah.
High fantasy, like, where there aren't things like guns or, like, cars.
Yeah,
and airships and things like that.
Yeah.
Where, like, low technology, was what I meant to say. Like, that's a very popular thing in Dungeons & Dragons games.
Yeah,
and
very,
That's why Warforged are so controversial.
Yeah.
Because introducing robots into the game was a very, like, I don't want that in my fucking druid grove.
Yeah.
I don't want this metallic being within my forest of
which I
fae.
think, I think is valid, but I also think, like,
if you want to play that, you should be able to.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, just saying that, like this, I don't mind this opinion because it doesn't say if you run guns and airships, you're a fucking loser and I hate you. What it says is, in my game, there is no of these things, and it's like, that's fine because that's your game and you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And especially if you're the dungeon master, you've got to want to enjoy it. And if people run around with pistols and guns and muskets and blunderbusses ruins your immersion, then I get it.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I get it.
I unfortunately don't think this is unpopular either.
No, I think that is the furry, like, tabaxis are really popular.
Yeah, tabaxis are popular, but people also fucking hate tabaxis.
Yeah.
And I think people will take any reason to absolutely dunk on anthropomorphic races. I don't understand why. I do not know why. It's like, those people who hate baby monkeys? It's like, I don't.
Who hates baby monkeys?
There's a whole group of people, especially here on YouTube, who fucking hate baby monkeys.
You're a fucking criminal.
Yeah, how could you hate a baby monkey?
How could you hate a baby monkey?
How could you hate... Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Shooking himself up against my
How could you hate a baby monkey?
How could you hate a baby monkey? And also, what the, like, when it comes to the race thing, it's just like, it doesn't, like, it literally doesn't affect you at all. So why do you care?
At all.
Like,
at all.
I'm like, most people, when they play an anthropomorphic, like, animal race, they're just gonna play it, not like, they're not gonna be like mooing as a cow.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like, but if you want to do that, fair enough. But, like, that's not going to be happening.
Yeah.
They're just going to be playing somebody who looks like that.
I don't know. I really don't know why people give a fuck so much. I really don't.
I don't know. People get too fucking bothered about other people's business, I think, Mike.
Yeah, I agree.
People too bothered about other people. How about you just worry about yourself?
You want to play a fairy, you be a fairy.
You be a fairy.
Yeah,
you want to be a cat with a gun?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
You want to be a cow riding an airship?
Yeah.
Go for it. You want to be a horse riding a car? You do it.
I think it is valid to not want those things too, though. Genuinely, I think it is.
And that's fine, but as long as everybody knows at the beginning and very early, and it's not a surprise when we get to character creation, then fine.
Agreed.
Who cares?
Agreed.
Who cares?
All right, the next one is none of your characters are actually original. It's all been done before, and you aren't special for coming up with yet another OC. Stop trying to make up for your lack of roleplay ability with a shiny facade.
God, that's laced with so much
fucking hell. The thing is, the actual point, I agree with. The way the point is said is absolutely fucking horrible.
But the thing is, like, saying that like, you will never come up with anything original.
Wrong.
Is a lie.
That the innovation is a thing.
The likelihood that you come up with something original is low. Yeah. Slim to low, because, we take inspiration from things around us. That's why a lot of us play Dungeons & Dragons, is we want to live out, like, fantasies of games, TV shows, films, movies, books that we've, like, read and loved, and we want to, like, do those things. Like, that's most of the reason a lot of us play Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, fully agree.
Especially for our first characters for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
So, there is traces of things in there. All of my characters have, like, all of my NPCs, all of my stories are, like, copied from things that I just love consuming.
Yeah.
So,
I think a really good way to frame this is, if you've watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, there's this saying where nothing matters, so do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there's the nihilist way of looking at it as nothing matters, so nothing matters.
Nothing matters, so it doesn't matter what you do.
Why should you do anything? Because ultimately nothing matters, and your actions now don't matter.
Yeah.
But then there's the optimist way of looking at it, saying nothing matters, so you can be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Because nothing matters.
And I think that's a good way to look at this specifically. Like, nothing's original, but that means you can flourish in the fact that you can do whatever you want, be whatever you want, and know that it is a common, it could potentially be a common trope that people like. There's nothing wrong with wanting to seek originality and being able to understand the fact that you are original through fact of being you, but your ideas might not be, and that's okay. The way that you interpret
it, the way that you play it, the way that your story like rolls out, that's what will make it original.
100%.
Because you could take Luke Skywalker and then put him in the Ever Flame Her Sacrifice, my campaign, and it's like Luke Skywalker's story has never been told in that setting like that by this person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's where the originality will come from. But like, stop doing this because you're not. It's just like, man, could you be any more of a fucking killjoy?
I feel like this
is
once again, this is more of a reflection on OP than anyone
100%.
else. You know, stop trying to make up for your lack of role playability with a shiny facade. Who's saying that?
Yeah,
who's saying that? By the way,
I'm a great role player.
Yeah. Like, who's saying that? In whose opinion? Where
Margaret's
did that
a great
come
role player,
from?
but Margaret takes plenty of inspiration from the things that she watches.
Oh my god, my last character, Rayla, she was literally named after a moon elf in the Dragon Prince. I took her name from...
But like, that's not covering up anything. Margaret's a fantastic role player.
Thank you.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a fucking... Those 2 points literally don't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
You're just pissed off about something that you've seen or someone that you've played with.
I know. I think that's it.
And you've just come to the internet to make it extremely dreadful point.
I think that's it. And I think... I genuinely feel for people like this who have had a bad experience and they aren't able to look past that experience, and then they tar everyone with this same brush.
Yeah.
And it's unfair to everyone else. It's also unfair to them. Yeah. Because they're
gonna find happiness.
Well, no, but I feel like they're not open to the idea of being able to look at it through through a subjective lens, right? But you know, revel in the fact that nothing's original anymore. You know what I mean?
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
You can be whoever you want to be. You want to be fucking whatever his name from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's a very common one.
Yeah, Aang.
Yeah. Go for it, because that's a fucking dope character. And it's just like, these people who've created these original IPs are amazing storytellers, unbelievable character developers. Yeah. So like, why wouldn't I fucking do that?
Oh god, 100%.
Why wouldn't I fucking
We say
take
this
them
all
down?
the time. Like, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. And you know, just through fact of being you, they're going to be original in a sense. You know what I mean?
And the world that you are in, which is going to be different from the world that they were in.
And the people around you are going to shape you too.
Your Dungeon Master's like imprint on it,
100%.
is going to make it different.
Yeah, agreed. So I think that this is said with so much hate that it's not even.
It's a stinky opinion.
I agree. I feel
Smelly.
it's said with so much resentment. And it smells like beef, to be honest.
I was having a roly-poly.
All right, the next one is, it simply is, the GM is not a storyteller.
Okay.
What do you think?
I feel like exactly what they are. I feel like, especially if you're running a module, they are literally telling you the story.
I feel like the GM is a storyteller and so much more.
Yeah,
I feel like the GM is not just
only a storyteller.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is a very primary role of theirs.
Yeah, you know what? When I read this, I actually tried to see like what if people could get OP to clarify, but unfortunately there was kind of no clarification. Yeah. But you know, I think a GM is a storyteller.
A GM is a lot of things.
Yeah.
They are.
No, honey. Oh my goodness gracious!
Jump down. They are not just a storyteller. They are so much more than a storyteller. They are, you know, the storyteller, the combat master, the dungeon master, the guiding hand.
Yeah.
They are the person who, you know, tells your story, tells you what's going on, but they are definitely a storyteller.
And, you know, the GM's also a player as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, I'm trying to think of like situations in which like this statement would be said. Like, the GM isn't a storyteller.
Maybe when it's like there is no story. We just got together. We made a bunch of characters. And we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Like, because those are games that, I've had a lot of friends who've played in those games, and they've been like, it was some of the most fun I ever had.
Yeah,
we just got together and like improvised and saw where it went, and it's like, well, at that point you aren't a storyteller, but you also are.
Yeah,
because you're telling like what you've improvised and what you've said.
Yeah,
this NPC does this, or like the king does this, or the bartender does this, and it's just like, you're telling them what happens when they do things, which is exactly what a storyteller is.
Yeah. I also think the players are a storyteller too, like to some degree as well.
Yeah.
Like the players, I feel like, again, it's, oh my gosh.
We had to tell him to get off.
We had to get him off.
We had to take a moment to tell him to sit down.
One way or another, we had to get him off. I can't remember the point that we were making.
Well, just, like you were making a big emphasis on that, like the dungeon master is also a player.
Yeah. And
they are there to have fun. Yeah. As well as, tell the story. But I definitely feel like that is what they are.
Yeah, I agree.
That is one of their roles.
Yeah, I agree. Unless,
roles which there are many.
Yeah. I feel like they're a storyteller, but they're not just a storyteller.
Yeah,
it's
so much more than that.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
Like, I wonder
jury, and executioner.
What's your opinion on this? Do you, like, how do you interpret this? Because I'm not sure how I actually interpret it, to be honest.
Interpret it as...
like, not just a storyteller, maybe.
Maybe not just a storyteller.
Yeah, maybe not just...
not a storyteller?
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree.
I agree, yeah.
Because technically we're all storytellers, because what you do helps me tell the story.
Yeah.
Like the roles that you... like, the dice tell the story, your words tell a story, my words tell a story. Like, we are all telling a story.
Yeah, agreed.
But, I am definitely, like, the story... the
focal
like storyteller.
Yeah, I agree.
I made the world and everything that's going on in it. So I feel like I'm or am I the narrator? I don't know. I definitely feel like I am a storyteller.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're the narrator, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. What do you think? I'd like to know.
Isn't a narrator telling a
story? Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'd like to know.
It's all in good fun, isn't it?
So, we are running extremely late, unfortunately. So, we would normally do 15. I don't know how many we've done. We're only going to do 2 more.
We're going to do 2 more.
We're going to do 2 more. And you know what? The rest can just kind of go into the next one.
We'll go to the next one.
To be honest. All right. So, the next one is... potions should trigger an attack of opportunity when in melee range. Ain't no way that fighter is swinging a claymore facing 2 orcs while popping up that potion.
Like, look, this is when realism becomes too important. Like, I get it.
Like, would you take your chance if you saw someone swinging? Yeah, I think you would.
Probably. But also at the same time, what's the you would just never take a potion.
Yeah, I know.
You would literally just never drink a potion because you're like, I'm just going to get fucking attacked.
You'd immediately, like, God, especially if you're drinking a standard potion, especially if you don't have any extra rules put in
to like gain maximum from that potion.
Yeah, exactly, or to re-roll the 1s and 2s.
Like if you were getting max from that, like 10 damage isn't massively hard to achieve for many enemies. Like maybe at really low CR you'd struggle to get up to 10 damage, but like a D6 plus like 2, you're talking if they roll max damage, that's 8, and it's just and then that was completely pointless.
Absolutely, completely pointless. Like, I can't imagine anything that smells more than expending the resource. And potions also, by the way, potions in rules as written are actions. Like, to use your action to drink 50 gold and then to
drink 50 gold
to get an opportunity attack to go back down again.
Imagine if you went even lower.
Oh, that would feel so bad. Like, I understand.
I understand
OP's reasoning.
You're making.
I do understand.
Like, the 2 orcs aren't going to be like, oh yeah, mate, you just...
Yeah, you have a swig.
You have a swig, go on.
Yeah, you have a swig.
No, it's dribbling down your lip.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, get the napkin.
I get it.
Yeah,
I
get it.
The orcs aren't going to let you do that, but at the same time, it's like, we need something.
Yeah,
healing's already turbo
Trash.
bad in fucking 5e, so why are we making healing potions even shitter
I agree.
than they already are?
Yeah, I agree.
We've all made them bonus actions, most of us.
Yeah,
because they're so shit.
Yeah, agreed.
Bonus action, and some people just do max healing as well.
Yeah, that would feel so fucking
bad.
That would feel so bad. I definitely think that is an unpopular opinion.
I hope it's unpopular.
Definitely an unpopular opinion.
Unpopular.
Definitely. All right, so the last one.
The final.
Sorry, that was the penultimate.
That was
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
We'll let that sit with you for a second. That
Yeah.
was the penultimate.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Did you put your shoes on?
This is the ultimate.
This is the ultimate.
All right, this is letting people swap racial ability scores around when character building is fundamentally a terrible idea that just homogenizes everything until all that's left are just names that don't mean anything.
Boring. So boring.
Boring.
Such a boring opinion.
Boring.
Like one D&D.
One Dungeons
and Dragons is literally changing this.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like they aren't tied to your race.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is your racials give you like your backgrounds are what gives. I can't remember which way it is, but basically they're not tied together anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to be a Aarakocra, you don't have to have this. If you want to be a half-orc, it doesn't have to be strength and constitution. It's like they aren't tied together anymore because the idea that if you are an orc, you are only strong and powerful and that's it and you can be nothing else.
Well, exactly.
It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah,
It's like,
I agree. I feel like, you know, now, especially with 1D&D, and to be honest, I feel like a lot of tables, like you say you can have whatever, you can be whatever you want and just put them wherever you want.
Then take your racials from your racial.
It makes for so much more varied characters.
Yeah,
you know, there's the joke of like a human fighter, but the human fighter is the most popular played because it leans the best towards that because of the stats, right? Like,
well, you know, when you're a variant human,
yeah,
and you can get a feat,
yeah,
which is super strong,
yeah,
so that's just what everyone does,
yeah.
But so when you just give everybody a minor feat and variant humans can't get any more than that, it's just like then people will stop playing variant human. It's just like when we're tying so much to race, we're just gonna end up playing the same races, which in my opinion is more homogenizing than what we're doing.
I completely agree.
Because
like, absolutely, completely agree.
All everyone's doing is just doing the same thing because there's the strong stuff and then there's the shit stuff and nobody plays the shit stuff. So when we untie all power from race, which is what you should do, in my humble opinion,
I agree.
People play and look however they want. They can be a slender half-orc. They can be a bulky elf. Like, you can be whoever you want because you picked your race for your racials, and then you've just put your stats wherever you want.
Yeah.
Because everyone's getting the same +2 and +1. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing is, I do, to a degree, understand what OP is saying. Like, in terms of if you were playing, like, a game on your computer, right? If you were playing something like an MMO or a survival game, right? Like, being able to pick those traits, that go towards like the end game in an actual like a video game. Like, I get it. I do get it.
I get that.
And
I do get that.
To be honest, I can kind of understand why people would want it to stay like that for D&D too. But I just think, and I've said it all the time, more variety is good for the game.
Just so much better for the game.
So much better for the game.
In a role-playing game where you play a role, and in a role-playing game where you act out like stories and things like that, because, you know, like, yes, Dungeons and Dragons can be, you know, just a dungeon crawler where the numbers really matter, then yeah, you should, but because Dungeons and Dragons have become so much more than that, TTRPGs have just become so much more than that. They are a role-playing game with backstories and stuff like that, and you can be whoever you want to be.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Why would I tie power to race?
That's it. It's the idea that, you know, hey, we're all getting more woke. We truly are.
We're woken
up.
I'm awoken.
Like, we're all more in touch with our mental health. We're all more in touch with how the people around us work. Where we try to understand each other a lot more now than, you know, previous generations have.
Yeah.
And I think your D&D character for so many people is such a reflection on that person. Like, having them be exactly what you want them to be without worrying about being shit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, under-optimized.
And like, just take it like, you know, let's just take it as a man. Let's just say, you know, we're not supposed to have these emotions and things like that. And that's, you know, the way that we were brought up. Like, men don't cry, men don't hug, men shake hands, and that's it. Like, you know, my granddad always used to say that to me. It's just like, so when I think of like an orc that grew up in like, I don't know, an elven society and doesn't care about being like the Braun who like has been a little bit more in touch with like nature and nurture and things like that. Like that's a sick backstory.
Yeah.
And that's a sick like idea of taking a stereotype of something and just turning it on its head. Like, why would I not want to do that?
I know.
Why would I
agree.
not want to break the mold in that way and
I know,
play that
and
character?
How many people? Because at the end of the day, it is a game where there is combat, and if you are under optimized, it can feel really bad.
If that's the tale you get, I guess.
Indeed. Like, how many people do you think have been put off making choices like that?
Yeah.
And having to forego the flavor to go for something that is more optimized.
Yeah, because but then you can do both and have +2 +1 anywhere you want.
Yeah.
But be a half orc
exactly.
because you like the racials.
Well, for example, my tiefling barbarian. Oh my god, her stats were absolutely terrible all over the place.
Stinky.
Because tieflings lean into charisma and
dexterity.
Exactly, and barbarians are neither of those
Need
things.
Strength and constitution.
Exactly.
So it's like
she was a horribly optimized character, and it felt horrible to play her.
But if you could look like a tiefling.
Exactly.
Have the tiefling backstory.
Because I went for her looking cool.
Have the tiefling racials.
Exactly.
But put your +1
because racials are cool.
Like, how isn't that better?
How isn't that better?
I don't feel like you can hit me with an argument.
I know. How isn't that better?
That beats that.
Yeah,
I just don't think you can.
I agree.
And like what was the point?
Oh, sorry. Oh god, iPad gone black. Letting people swap around racial ability scores when character building is a fundamentally terrible idea that just homogenizes everything until all that's left are names that don't mean anything.
That point is shit.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a shit point.
Yeah,
that's a shit point.
I agree. I feel like that's a really purist.
It's just there's no reason behind it.
Yeah, and I feel like this is very much like, people are just changing whatever they want, or people are changing genders. People are adding all these new things. LGBTQIA plus what? Are they going to go through all the letters of the alphabet? That's the vibe I'm getting from this, right? It's like, you can't just let anything be. And it's like, no, we can't actually. Because everything is complex.
Yeah, and also, like, I'm here for a fucking good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking die at some point.
Yeah.
So I might as well just do the things I want to do. And if I want to put my +2 and +1 wherever I want,
I'm gonna do it.
I'm just gonna fucking do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Because you want to know what? Like, your point makes no sense. You're adding nothing with that point.
Yeah.
Like, literally nothing.
Yeah.
But saying I want to be a tiefling because I want to look like it. I want the racials. I want the lineage. I want the backstory of having a demon in my family
all that's
somewhere.
left are names that don't mean anything. It's like, have you actually read the flavor text of races then?
And like
have you actually looked
also,
at that?
Why?
Yeah, I know. Why? In the name of what? In the name of who?
What? In the name of who?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Because to me, I think being what I want, but putting my stats wherever I want, makes me far more original than you being like, well, tieflings have to be this and orcs have to be this. I'm pretty sure that's more homogenistic than what I'm saying.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I agree.
Motherfucker?
I think that's unpopular.
That's got to be unpopular.
I think that's
right?
unpopular.
That has to be unpopular, right?
Definitely. I think so.
My dog's having a rustle.
And that's it. That was the last one.
We've been going for God.
Don't have the timer up.
What, an hour and 45?
Goodness gracious me.
Flipping heck, eh?
It's been a long one. Oh, you can stay.
You can stay in.
You can stay
winding
here
down.
Now, sweet pea.
Many things.
Yes.
Many thousands of things.
Many thousands of things.
www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up some merch, some logo hoodies and entity t-shirts. That helps us out a huge amount. Our Etsy store will be linked down below. The Hellbound shop, you can put code Podblast. Put code Podblast in to get 10% off any goodies you want to buy from the shop. Like, subscribe, bell.
Oh my god.
Thumb up.
Listen.
Words.
Listen. This is a work in progress. Well, there's going to be.
How do you think it looks, though?
How do you think it looks?
I think it looks pretty sick.
Despite, I'm not gonna lie, with any change,
many
technical difficulties, many technical difficulties,
many thousands of technical difficulties.
Has this episode been the smoothest? Certainly not.
Who cares?
But we
got a podcast, though.
Yeah, we wanted to get something out. We toyed with the idea of not putting something out, but we wanted to.
Work in progress.
say farewell to the dog because you're not seeing him again. Let me
yeah.
put it that way. He's not coming back in again.
He's not going to be down here. At the beginning, he was laying so lovely, and I
no.
was like, oh, this is great.
No.
I love this so much.
Nope.
Not happening again.
Keep an eye. Oh my god, into the Homebrew Challenge.
Homebrew Challenge. Join us on stream every Friday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. GMT.
Yes. 2
videos a week is normal. Check out our TikToks and shit like that.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
Bully hates you.
Oh, what?
Sadly.
Oh, no.
Nah, he loves you.
That's not the case.
He hates the fact that you take us away from him.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast. And we're going to see you on Thursday. Bye.